Hey guys, it's Zeon, and we are now on Dragon Ball Super episode 10. In this episode, Goku and Beerus duke it out. That's it. Synopsis over. Now, weak and inconsistent animation quality has kind of been a running problem with this show, and episode 10 really isn't any different. Pretty much every single scene where they cut to other characters on the boat, observing the fight, making comments on it, always looks a little off. Either the character is slightly off model, or the line work isn't quite as refined, or it's just overall sloppy looking in general. But when it comes to the fight scenes, it looks pretty damn good. And I am a-okay with this. Dragon Ball is a action-centric series, and if we're gonna have an action-centric episode, I would definitely prefer that they put more care and attention into the action sequences than the random onlookers going, "Oh, look at them fight." So I am a-okay with this. Let me just go ahead and state for the record, I really liked the fight scene between Beerus and Goku. It starts with Goku missing a punch on Beerus, and then realizing that his body feels different, it feels weird, off. Acknowledging that he is now a god, and just a completely different life form. That it isn't just a normal transformation, that this has physically changed his body. And that he isn't quite adjusted to it yet. Something else that Goku isn't adjusted to is using the actual god power. God Ki is very different from his normal, everyday Ki. And at first, he isn't that good at using it. He's a lot weaker at the beginning of this fight than he was at the end of it. And I really like this change up from Battle of Gods. It gets across the point that this is a completely different type of power. One that Goku doesn't really know how to use or tap into properly. And this also really harkens back to the Captain Ginyu fight, where Captain Ginyu switched bodies with Goku, but he didn't know how to use Goku's ki properly, because Goku uses his ki completely different than how the villains do. So that was another change I really liked. And I also love how this episode ended. Goku gets a hit on Beerus, scratching his cheek. Beerus gets super fucking pissed off, lunges at Goku, takes a swing, misses. Goku grabs his wrist, puts him in a headlock, and then just flicks him on the head and chops him on the neck. This obviously being revenge for what happened on Kyle's planet. And once again, I loved that scene. That's such a very Goku-esque thing. I loved it. And overall, I really liked the fight scene, and I really appreciate the changes they made from Battle of Gods. With the exception of, in two scenes in this episode, a massive ki attack goes past an opponent and just blows up the landscape. Now my problem with this is twofold. One, nobody gives a flying fuck about who could have been hurt by those two attacks. I mean, this attack blows up a good chunk of scenery. Like, I mean, you see it just lighting up the goddamn horizon. And no one goes, "Oh shit, I wonder if anyone was fucking hurt." And don't give me that, "Oh, it could have hit the goddamn water" bullshit. Because Beerus' attack lit up a good fourth of the goddamn planet. Somebody died. My second issue I have with this is those attacks did not just immediately blow up the fucking planet. And honestly, this has kind of been an issue that the Dragon Ball franchise has suffered since post the Cell games, I'd say. Where characters would launch massive attacks, it would hit the Earth, and the planet didn't blow up. Like, does anyone remember back to when Vegeta charged up his final flash? And Vegeta had to angle the attack upward at the last second, shooting it off into space so that way it didn't blow up the Earth? If these characters are throwing around the type of power that they supposedly are, especially Beerus who launches an energy ball so strong that God Goku has trouble trying to flip it over him, yeah, that should just completely destroy the planet. No questions asked. But like I said, this is kind of an issue that the Dragon Ball franchise has been suffering for a really long time now. It's just the characters are way too strong and they don't really know how to work around it, so they just don't. It was a problem in the Majin Buu arc, it was a problem in GT, and it's a problem in Super. And it's one I don't see that's ever gonna be fixed, because there really isn't a way to fix it. Now, there are a couple other things that I did not like about this episode. First off, once again, Piccolo references that he cannot sense God Ki. I know, I keep harping on it. Doesn't mean it doesn't bug the fuck out of me every time it comes up. I really wish they'd stop doing it. The other thing I didn't like about this episode was the whole sequence with Pilaf. Pilaf and the gang are now back on the boat. Which, by the way, now renders any scene with them leaving the boat completely fucking pointless. Because they're back again, but they came back looking for the Dragon Balls. The Dragon Balls that they already know were used. They saw the dragon being summoned. They saw it in the sky. That's how they knew for a fact that the Dragon Balls were there. And they know what happens to the Dragon Balls after you make a wish. They fucking just across the goddamn planet. But they still came back going, "Let's try to find the Dragon Balls." It was dumb. It was really dumb. Did not need to be there. I will say I did kind of enjoy the scene with Whis and them. That was cute. I liked that. But the whole them getting back on the boat looking for the fucking Dragon Balls, stupid. Now I do have one more thing worth noting. Not really good, not really bad. Just kind of an odd scene that I feel is worth noting. That being Beer stating that he is the strongest in this universe. Clearly being a hint to the multiple universes thing from the end of Battle of Gods, but one that kind of doesn't make sense because isn't Whis supposed to be stronger than Beers? Or is Whis not stronger than Beers now? Is that a retcon? I'm kind of looking forward to seeing like what they're gonna do with that, or if that line actually has any relevance. So yeah, that sums up this Dragon Ball Super review, and overall, I actually enjoyed this episode. It definitely isn't the paragon of perfection that episode 6 was, but it was solid, it was good, it was well constructed overall. It has some flaws, but none so bad that it really just drags the entire episode down. So yeah, Dragon Ball Super episode 10. Got the thumbs up for me. Now, before I dip out, I do have one major announcement. And I think this is really gonna make a lot of you guys happy. That announcement being that this is apparently my last Dragon Ball Super review. You see, I was recently informed on my last Super review that these reviews suck, and that nobody cares about my opinion. Guys, I really wish you had told me sooner. I mean, I wouldn't have been making these reviews had I known you guys did not care what I had to say whatsoever. So yeah, no more Super reviews. Great news, right? Now, on the off chance that this guy is just a fucking idiot and doesn't speak for all of you, I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to make sure that the Dragon Ball Super reviews continue. All you need to do to let me know to continue making these reviews is just put in the comment section, hashtag fuck that guy. Just hashtag fuck that guy, he doesn't speak for all of you, and that you want to make sure my Dragon Ball Super reviews continue. And if I have more comments stating hashtag fuck that guy, then I do dislikes on this video, I will guarantee you there will be another Super review next week, and keeps on going until this series ends, or I eventually just blow my fucking brains out because I get tired of talking about it. Either way, you will get more Super reviews after this. And as long as you guys put into the comments, hashtag fuck that guy. Alright, so that sums up this Dragon Ball Super review. Like I said, pretty decent episode. I'm Zeon. Peace out.